Good morning. Pastor Kelly here. Just give people a chance to come on in and so we can talk. It is Thursday. Um the last full week of May. Uh it is the 28th. Sometimes I have to make sure that I look at what day it is. Um yeah, it's Thursday midday with PK. That's me. Um It has been quite an emotional week, to say the least. Um, and hi, Chris. It has been quite an emotional week, to say the least. Um, Particularly if you are in this golden skin. Um, and so I have felt, I think, every emotion a Black person can feel. And so this morning I was thinking, um, what am I going to talk about? No clue. Um, what I was going to talk about today, because quite frankly, I feel like I need somebody to give me a devotional, and I just sit back and listen. And so every morning on my phone, a scripture pops up. And I said, okay, so let's see what scripture pops up for me today. So that's what wakes me up in the mornings. And today's scripture comes from Psalm 55 and 22. Psalm 55, 22. And it says, um, cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. That's the scripture that popped up on my on my screen on my phone this morning. The that was the NRSV version, New Revised Standard Version. The um, the message says it like this: pile your troubles on God's shoulders. He'll carry your load. He'll help you out. He will never let good people topple into ruin. That's what it says. And um, you look for inspiration, and I think that a lot of us can um, understand the waves of emotions that that we're feeling. And this week, even some of us who are not people of color have felt those waves of emotions as we have watched just plain injustice happen before our very eyes. Let me just say that stuff has always been happening, but these little boxes um, have just been much better at recording them. And so, as a person, a very proud person of African American descent, I am, I have asked God, so what do we make of all of this? What do we make of um, senseless killing? What do we make when I'm having to pray for friends um, just yesterday who are asking for prayers because their children were playing basketball at a church and got harassed by a white lady? And now they're terrified that something has happened to their child who just graduated from school and just graduated from high school and is on going on to college to do great things. And she's worried that that might be cut short because of someone's just inability to see his humanity. And then I read, cast your cares on God's shoulders. God can carry the burden for you. Um, I'm wrestling this morning, friends. I'm wrestling. Um, I I am a person who loves truth and who seeks justice for all of us. Um, and I mean, I grew up with the Super Friends, of course. That's what I think. Um, Only old people will get that joke. But I'm looking for justice and equity. And so, in these moments where we see that there are huge gaps of it, that injustice is just running rampant, where inhumanity toward fellow siblings um, is is everywhere. You know, what are we to do? Um, and so, you know, I asked God, well, so are you saying that if I just give this stuff to you, that you're going to fix it? And um, I don't think that that's what God meant. I don't think God meant that even as people of faith, I think faith with without works is dead. That's what the scripture says. And so, how do we do the work that it takes to dismantle um, the great injustices that prop up um, systems that are evil toward people? How do we do the work? What are we casting upon God? And I believe that that our work is what we're to give God, um, not just our feelings. You know, feelings are don't drive very well. Feelings, your emotions are great at um, at telling the temperature, but but they should not ever be setting the thermometer. They should not be the one that leads. We are going to have to do things despite our feelings, no matter how it hurts. Um, Decisions, we have to make decisions. I mean, that's what adulting is, isn't it? I mean, how many people felt like getting out of their beds, their warm beds, and felt like doing the work that they've been called to do? Um, and so, and so, in these times when it's really a matter of life and death, that's what we've learned. That's if you haven't learned that, well, I knew that already. If you've not learned that, it's really a matter of life and death um, for Black and Brown people. And you know, I am well degreed, and um, and I come from a wonderful family, and they love me, and I was raised well, and I had a great childhood, and I grew up, and I have made a lot of achievements. And for somebody to look at my skin and determine that I am not human is very heartbreaking and dangerous for me and for all people who look like me. And so, so as God is calling us to cast our burdens onto God, um, I don't believe God is calling us to not do work, and we've got a lot of work to do. Thankfully, Foundry is doing some work, and so if you have not checked your spam, listen to Pastor Kelly. If you've not checked your spam, I need you to check your spam and go and get your. There is a racial equity survey in your spam somewhere. If you have not filled it out, please do. If you'd like to receive it, please let us know, and we can get that to you so that we can continue to do work. Um, we are we've got a lot of work to do, and so as we're doing the work, um, we are giving the parts to God that we just can't, we need God to do. And God's going to do God's part. That's the great news. God's going to do God's part. God is wanting us to do our part. And our part is going to sting. Um, Dismantling something, you know, I, I'm, I'm going to say what our white friends probably can't say without sounding like jerks. You know, white supremacy has helped white people. That's what it was supposed to do, but it hurts black and brown people. And so, are we willing to do the hard work of dismantling something that? Are you willing to do the hard work that dismantles something that props you up? Um, that's the tough question. Are you willing to dismantle something that supports you in every socioeconomic sphere of life? And are you willing to shout to those who and vote uh, in ways that dismantle this system? Are you willing to say to your police officers, I want you to, that's not, don't do that, and vote in ways that dismantle the propping up of behavior from our officers that is not helpful for our community, our entire community? Are you willing to do that? Because let me say, there's some good police officers out there, and they don't follow the they don't abide by that, and they do a great job. Um, so those ways in which bad laws protect those officers that are not doing their job, are we willing to dismantle that? Are we willing to do the work? I pray that you are, because we got a lot of work to do, and and God is on our side. And so it is my prayer that that in small ways, talking to your relatives who you know um, need to be brought along with you, saying the hard things to them, um, that that break cycles of learning in your family. Um, Nobody is born racist. They're not. So where do we get it from? We learn it, right? So it's been a hard week, friends. I don't even have anything fun and great. You know, usually I'm fun. Not this week. No, because it hadn't been fun, and and there's lots of work to do. But the good news is God is with us, and we are not alone. Thanks be to God. So fill out your survey. Check out our website at foundryumc.org to see how you can join in on um, our justice work. Um, Join us tonight. Pastor Ginger is teaching a class on Zoom. Please come and join in on that class. I'm sure that the information will be on our Foundry Facebook page and on our website. If you need prayer, let us know. Go to our foundryumc.org and click the prayer request button. Those prayer requests come to me. I'd love to pray for you, and we are praying for you. Um, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? Oh, um, I hope you did your census. I hope you're prepared to vote and I hope you turned in everything to vote. If you're doing voting by mail, if you're mailing in your votes, wear your masks so that we can continue to care for each other. Stay home if you can. It's a privilege to be able to do that. And stand up for justice in all the ways. Talk to your kids about what's happened this week. You may not think they found out about it, but they did, because children are insightful and smart. They know something's going on. Have a conversation with them. Okay? All right. Friends, blessings, peace. Be phenomenal today. And this is Pastor Kelly sending you love and joy and peace and justice. Bye.